So are we playing gin or 500?
I don't know the difference.
Gin is when you go out all at once. 500 is when you collect all the points in the way down.
Oh, okay, 500.
Okay.
Actually, when did you learn this game anyway?
Well, I was little.
Or who taught you, or how does... it's me too. Like, I remember this game for as long as I remember Grandma playing this game, but...
about as soon as I could count the cards.
Remember who taught you?
No. No, not really. I'm sure probably one of my brothers, sisters, mom, dad, uncle, who knows. Do you remember?
Not really. I remember you guys playing this at Daryl's and then teaching us how to play it. You know, when we were getting older, and you guys were letting us stay up later and hang out with the adults a bit. But I remember Grandma and them playing cards at the table at the farm. I don't, all you guys and but I wouldn't have known what game it was or.
Well, probably Smear actually. Yeah, Randy Moberg used to come over and we'd play cards or Monopoly. We'd play all night. Me and Mom and Daryl. And
how did you and when did you develop your love of engines and motorized things and motorcycles? And
as absolutely young as I can possibly remember. My brother Douglas used to sit me on the fender of the car when he was working on it, and man, we moved from the old farm just after I turned 5, so I was 4, and I remember it, but I could name all the parts under the hood on the car. And yeah, I told you before about my mom always wondering why I pulled all the wheels and stuff off my toys. It's because I was working on them, man.
She probably thought you were retarded.
Yeah. Well, she might have been right. Yeah, she'd go around and put all the right wheels on the right cars and stuff. They're just those little plastic cars with the axle with the wheels on them. Pull the whole axle out. And I'd put the big tires on the backs of the little cars and all that. And she'd put them all back to the way they were supposed to be, and I'd get just pissed.
What was your first motorized anything? Bike? Your first mini bike or whatever it was?
Well...
Or was it a lawnmower?
That stuff was in my life, all of my life. But my first personal motorized bike was that Honda 50 Mini Trail that I think they were out in Ohio or something. Dad and Steve came back and they bought us that Honda 50 Mini Trail, yellow and white. We were the baddest asses on the block.
And how old were you?
I don't know, 8.
And where'd they get it from?
I think Ohio or someplace. Daryl would remember where they got it from. Daryl got to take the first ride on it, and he went down the road and came back, and Stefan said, well, how come you didn't open it up? And Daryl says, I don't know, just, feeling it out. And it was my turn, and I thought, I'll show him. I took off down the road towards the bridge from the farm, held it wide open in second gear for everybody thought it was going to blow up. And then I realized I could shift it and there's another gear left. So, yeah, and came back and I got yelled at for that one.
How long was it before you guys wrecked it?
Still have it.
Okay.
But we killed it and resurrected it many times through the course of the years.
What was your first car?
My first car, well, I kind of had several of them, all kind of at the same time.
I guess things haven't changed.
Yeah, things haven't changed. 63 Austin Healey Sprite, probably. Got it from Dale Norby in Aurora. Me and Daryl went to pick it up. There was no motor or tranny in it. And Dale Norby said, well, I'll come out and give you guys a hand. We're going to try to load it in the back of my dad's 3/4 ton Dodge pickup. When he came back out, we already had it loaded up. I was like 13, Daryl was 16, and I did eventually get it going, no front fenders or nothing, and beat on it for a while until it quit running, and then tried to put a 6-cylinder car motor in it and never finished it.
When did you get your driver's license?
I think when I was 17, but I was driving from the time I could remember.
I suppose things were a bit different then.
Had driver's training from Tom Galach.
Oh, really?
Yep, drivers. I mean,
That's
actual
cool.
car driving too. He is a really good instructor.
Yeah,
too.
he was one of my favorite teachers. He was my gym teacher for years.
He's a good guy. Had that, and then I had 70 Ford Maverick that I traded a cassette player for it. It had been car had been rolled over and looked about like a golf ball, but it was still relatively intact.
Mm-hmm.
Low miles, and beat the hell out of that. And then I totaled out my Maz 65 Ford Galaxy running the cops when I was first night I had my license. Ed Kipley, the cop, pulled me out of the ditch, followed me home. I'd rather have gone to jail and faced my parents. But they didn't say nothing. My dad said, "Everybody okay?" And I said, "Yep." And then I took the motor out of that. It had a 289 in it, and I put it in that Maverick, and that went pretty good. Wrecked that, outrunning the other Palo Constable. Didn't crash it or anything. It just went over these hills by the farm and tore the radiator hose off and kept going, overheated the motor and killed it.